Hi and welcome to this DCP web tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to give you a beginner's guide to LibreOffice Writer. So to start off with, we need to go onto Google and we just need to type in LibreOffice and you click on the download here, click on this link, click on the green download, and then you can select the relevant operating system and click the download button. If you're not too sure how to get this software installed, you can go to YouTube/DCP Web Designers. This is my YouTube page. You can click on video and then you can follow the instructions on how to install the software onto Windows 10. I'm pretty sure the process is very similar for Linux and Apple Mac computers. Okay, so once you've got the software installed, we can then go ahead and open up LibreOffice Writer. And as default, LibreOffice will load this blank page. We should really save our document first. So I've got a folder called LibreOffice Writer Tutorial on my desktop, and I'm going to save this document. I'm going to call it Master Document-01. And it will make sense why we're calling it a master document a little bit later, because this document is going to be our default document and we're going to make many copies of it to format future documents that we create, to automatically format them, we should say. So let's click the save button, and when LibreOffice Writer loads, it loads this default blank page, and you can see down here it's called the default style. Now sometimes when you receive a letter in the post, and if it's more than one page, normally what you'll see is the company logo in the left hand corner on the first page and an address on the right hand corner. But on the next page of the document, there is normally no logo or an address. It's always on the first page but not the subsequent pages. So we want to set up our document in that same logical format, because if you're going to use this for your business, you don't want your logo to be printed out on every single page. You may want it, but in most cases you don't want that. So to do this, we're going to right click on this default style at the bottom here, and we're going to set it to first page. Then we're going to go to insert and page break, and it's going to set up a second page underneath. And if you notice, the second page is got the default style, and if we scroll up and click on the first page, it's called the first page style here. We're going to save our document and we're going to go to insert, header, and insert header and footer. Go to the header and we're going to insert it on the first page only, the first page. And make sure that you click out of the header here, so you need to click in the document below, anywhere below, and you'll see the mouse cursor will move to the bottom, to inside of the document. So click here somewhere and you see the cursor is here now. It's very important. We're going to go to insert, header, footer, and we're going to say all. We're going to save our document. So in effect, what we've done is we've created a header on the first page only, we've created a footer on the first page, we've got no header on the second page, but we do have a footer on the second page. So we're going to go back to the top here, we're going to save our document, and really the smart thing to do now is to set up our styles, our formatting styles for our text information in the document. If we do that now, then when we write this document out, and if it's 10 pages long, we can format the page very, very quickly. So as default, I use the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and the default style and the body. These are the formats that I normally use in my document, so we're going to follow that same logic. So in this document, we're going to type in heading 1, we're going to type in heading 2, heading 3, and we're going to type in default style and body text, because these are the ones we're going to format. We're going to highlight heading 1, we're going to click on the drop down, and we're going to click heading 1 here. We're going to click on the drop down again, and in heading 1 there's another drop down here, and we're going to edit the style. Now this is really optional for you, you don't have to do this step, but we're going to find this font tab here and we can choose a different font for our heading 1. And normally the heading 1, heading 2, 3, the default text and the body text will all use the same font, but they'll be of different sizes, and maybe some will be bold and other ones won't be bold. They're all going to use the same font style. So I'm going to use Arial, and as I'm typing it in here, it's picking the Arial font. It's going to be bold, it's going to be 120. I'm going to apply that, and it's changed the style here, and click OK. I'm going to select heading 2. I'm going to do the same again, select heading 2 here, and I'm going to click on the drop down, go to edit style, and I'm going to type in Arial here. It's going to be bold, and the last one was 120, so this is going to be 110. Apply it, OK, select heading 3, select heading 3 here, select the drop down, edit the style, and we'll put Arial again. It's going to be bold. The last one was 110, so this one's going to be 100. Apply. OK. And we're going to select the default style and the default style here. And then we're going to select the drop down. We're going to edit the style. And we'll type in Arial here. It's going to be regular and 12 point. And we'll click apply. And we'll click OK. As default, the body style inherits whatever style you've set for the default style here. We could say that this style and this one here are connected together. So we don't need to edit the body style. It's taken its formatting from the default style. So we've got all our headings set up, and we've got the default and the body style. We're going to select these and delete them. I know that seems a bit strange, but it will all make sense soon. We're going to save this document. Let's focus on the header now. So I'm going to click into the header here, and I want to insert a table. So I'm going to click on the table here, the little drop down arrow on the side of it, and I'm going to do two columns and 1 row. So 2 times 1. And we can see the table has been inserted here. I'm going to click on the right cell here, and I'm going to write a line, and I'm going to put an address in here. So I'm going to make one up. I'm going to hit the enter key twice to make some space here, so 2 spaces, because I want to put a telephone number in here. Okay, let's save this document. The next thing I'm going to do is move my mouse cursor. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I want to move my mouse cursor to the left hand side of this table, and you see this little arrow point up, and it will say select table row. I'm going to click that, and it's going to highlight the whole table. I'm going to go down to here, and I'm going to select border styles, and I'm going to say none. This will just make the table invisible. I'm going to save this and zoom out again, and I want to put a logo on the left hand side here. So to do that, if this side panel is getting in the way, you can click on this little arrow and it will hide it. You can click on it and it will show it, so you can hide and show it that way. So I want to put a logo in here. I need to find a logo, so let's find a logo to use. I'm just going to grab one from my website. We want something with a white background, so something like this will be good. Your document has a white background as default, so you want to, if your logo isn't already on a white background, you need to speak to your graphic designer, or if you designed it yourself, you need to make sure your logo is on a white background. So I'm just going to open up this folder. I'm going to drag and drop this logo into here. I'm going to close this. Let's just quickly look at this logo. So I can see a few problems with this logo at the moment. There's too much white spacing above and there's way too much below, and there's probably a little bit too much on the sides. So we need to do some editing to this logo quickly. This is a bit beyond the scope of this tutorial, but I'm going to show you how to do this anyway. I'm going to use GIMP software, so you can download this software. It's image editing software, and we're going to just grab our logo, drag and drop it into GIMP, and we're going to use the rectangular selection tool, and we're going to put this selection around the logo with minimal white spacing above and below and to the sides. And then we'll go to image, and we're going to say fit canvas to selection. Then we can go to file, and we can go to export as, and I'm going to rename it so it doesn't overwrite the original one. Doesn't matter if it does, but I'm just going to rename it to cropped, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG file. I'm going to click on export. I'll set it to 100% and export it. I can close this down now. And we've got a cropped version of our logo without all of that white spacing above, below and to the sides. Now this logo will fit our document much better. It will fit this space much better because there's no white spacing above and below the logo. So I'm going to drag and drop it into the document. We're going to resize it. And then I can drag and drop it in here. Somewhere about there will be fine. So if we save this, we can go to print preview, and we can see a logo and our address here now, and the phone number. So we're going to close this. And the next thing I want to do is draw a line underneath this telephone number and the logo. So to do that, we're going to move our mouse cursor to the left hand side of the table where it shows this little arrow, and we're going to click to highlight the table, and then we're going to go to borders, and we're going to select this option here, which will draw a line on the bottom of the table. So if we save this and print preview again, we see there's a line here now. That's what we wanted. I'm going to close this. Okay, so I'm going to go to this head. Make sure your cursor is in the document now, here. Just click here somewhere. I'm going to go to clear formatting, and I'm going to write in here, this is the main title for this document. So now we want to format this title, and it's going to be the heading 1 title. So to do this, we can simply go to the drop down menu and select heading 1, and as default it's going to give it the style and the design of whatever we set heading 1 to. So now you can see we can set our titles very quickly just by selecting them from the drop down, because we edited them at the beginning of this tutorial. So I'm going to hit the enter key, and anytime we type a title and we hit the enter key, it's going to pre-select the body text as default, and we've already formatted this text. So I'm going to write, this is some subtext for the title above. I'm going to type this text in and hit the space bar, so there's one space, and then I'm going to highlight the text and press Ctrl and C to copy it, or you can go to edit, copy, and then Ctrl V is to paste it, or you can right click and copy it here. I'm going to move the mouse cursor to after the space, and I'm going to press Ctrl V just to get some text into the document. I'm not going to sit here and type text. This is just some sample text of what you might have written. I'm going to hit the enter key, and I'm going to write, this is a second heading for this document. I'm going to highlight this text, and I'm going to make it heading 2, and then I'm going to hit the enter key, and we're going to put some more subtext. We've still got this in memory, so I can just Ctrl V to paste it, or you can right click and press paste here. We'll do the same thing, and I'm going to go down again one more line. I'm going to write, this is third. Let's type in. We can highlight this. We set it to heading 3. You can see heading 1 and heading 2 and heading 3 are 3 different sizes. And then we can just press Ctrl V and paste in some more text here to fill it out. So let's save this and let's go to print preview, and we can see our title 1, some text, title 2, some text, and then the third title and some text. That's good. Let's close this. And sometimes in a document you want to put a picture to maybe make it look a bit better. So we're going to add an image into this document. Let's close this. So in this folder on my desktop I've got this image, and let's just open the image. We can see this is a picture of some guy on a parachute, and if we look at the image itself, when I hover over it, it's 15.2 megabytes. It's a very large file, and if I were to drag and drop this into the document, it would add 15.2 megabytes to the document, which is not really what we want. But we're going to do some work to this image inside of the document to reduce its size as well. So I'm going to click on the image and drag and drop it, and I'm going to drag and drop it right here because that's where I want the image to appear. So as default, because it was quite a large image, it's going to place it above the content. But we want to have the image on the left hand side and the text on the right hand side. So I'm going to resize it to something like this. And then I'm going to drag the image to the left hand side. And now we've got the text. We've got the image on the left and some text on the right. I'm just going to get rid of these few lines. We could leave them there because it's wrapping around the image. It's fine. Maybe we'll leave it there and we'll see how it works out. So really what I want to do now is get some spacing between the image and the text on the right hand side. It's way too close. You can see there's a bit more spacing underneath it, but here it's way too close. So to do this, I'm going to click on the picture. I'm going to click on this tool here, Styles and Formatting, and I'm going to make sure I've got frame style selected here, this option, and I'm going to double click on the frame, this option here. I'm going to double click on it, and it's going to add this frame around it. You can see it kind of repositions it, so we need to drag it to the left again. It's a bit irritating, but that's what it's doing. So let's just drag it to the right position, something like this. You can see it's added a nice space there, but at the same time it's got this black border around it. Now if you want, you can keep the black border. If you like that, that's great. You don't need to do anything. But if you don't want the black border, and in this case I don't want it, I'm going to click on the picture, right click on this frame and click modify, and I'm going to select from the styles, the line styles, none, and I'm going to click apply and click OK. Now we've still retained our spacing, but we've got rid of the border, and I think that looks better for me. Now we can resize the picture and the text will resize with it, and it will look all nice and formatted out correctly. Really, this text isn't, it's quite repetitive, so it looks a bit strange here. If we were to delete some of it, then maybe it will look a bit more sensible. So let's save this, and you can see this title was moved to the wrong position, so we're just going to click on the left side of the word this, and we're going to hit the enter key, and that will bring the title down here. Maybe we'll resize this and move this image up a little bit, something like this. We can get rid of this space now here. Let's save this. So when I save this document, if we look at the document, it's the master document is 15 megabytes in file size, so that's way too large. If you wanted to send this document to someone, 15 megabytes will take forever to send in an email. It's just it's not good. So we're going to click on this picture, go to its right click on the picture, go to properties. Actually, we're going to right click on the picture and we're going to go to compress. And in compression, we're going to leave it as JPEG. We're going to get rid of this reduce image resolution and we're going to set it to something around 75, and we're going to click OK, or we can click this calculate, recalculate, and it's going to go from 15 meg to 1.7. So we're going to click OK. So the quality of the picture didn't really change, but if we save it, we can see we went from 15 meg to 1.8 meg. We could probably reduce the file size much more, but really this document, we'll never send this to a customer. We're going to make a PDF file of it and we're going to send that customer a PDF file. So I'm going to show you how to do that later in this tutorial. We'll never send the original document because they could open it and edit it. We want to send them a PDF version. Okay, let's minimize this. Let's make this bigger. Let's save this. So now this is kind of debatable, but some people like their text left aligned. I like mine block justified. I don't know why, I just like it block justified. So you can see there's this button here, it's called justification, and that just makes the text square on the page. So I can click on each of these paragraphs and click on block justify and it squares out the text. I know some people are going to say that's wrong to do that, but that's the way I kind of like it. And if you print preview it now, you see the text is kind of like this. It's entirely your choice. It's up to you whether you use this block justify on the paragraphs. I'm going to scroll down to the second page and you'll notice there's no header and there's no address here, but we still need to work on this footer. So let's go to the first page and we're clicking this footer here, and let's see, what do we want to do? Let's insert a table here, 2 times 1, two columns and 1 row, just like we did above. And we're going to highlight the table as we did above, just like this. We're going to left click here and we're going to get rid of the borders as well. So we're going to right click here and we're going to say no borders. And on this side we want to add a page number. So we're going to go to here and we're going to say page number. And on this side, let's put, we could put our website address, for example, yeah? So to do that, we'll type in, we're going to right align it, so we'll click right align here. We'll type in www.dcpweb.co.uk. And we're going to hit the, there's a couple of ways to do this actually, but the easy way to do it is just to hit the enter key and it's going to make it a website address as default. So if I hit the enter key, because I put in www.dcpweb.co.uk, it recognized it as a website address, and as default it made it a link. But you can see it added a space below, so to get rid of this space below, we're going to click on the right hand side of the website address and then hit the delete key on your keyboard, and that will move it down. That will get rid of that space. You can see there's a capital W here, and I'm going to put another W in between and just delete this one out, so it's all lowercase, it looks clean. There is another way to do that, but I'm going to show you that later in the tutorial. So I'm going to click the save button and I'm going to highlight this table again using this select table row with this arrow. I'm going to press Ctrl C to copy it, and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on this table and I'm going to press Ctrl V. So now we've got a page 2 and the website address here as well. So if I were to insert a page break now, it's going to create a third page And if we scroll down that third page, we'll have a page number 3 and dcpweb.co.uk. And if I do it again, insert page break to make another page, it's going to have page 4 and dcpweb.co.uk. So I'm just going to get rid of the pages, our mouse cursor is on page 4 at the top here. All we do is hit the backspace key. Just hit the backspace key, which is next to the plus key or just below the F12 key on your keyboard. That will get rid of this page. And if we want to get rid of this third page, we do the same again, hit the backspace key, and we'll be back to our 2 original pages. And we want to do some extra work on this second page. I want to show you some other things that we can do. So let's save our document. And let's just copy this text here. So I'm going to highlight it, press Ctrl C to copy it, and we're going to press Ctrl V to paste it here on our second page. So we're just going to copy that text and paste it down. And I'm going to put a colon here. So this colon is going to represent something that's going to follow, which is a bullet list. So I'm going to hit the Enter key, and here we've got the bullet list, and here we've got the number list. So in the bullet list, we've got all these different bullet styles, and I think let's try it this diamond bullet style. So I'm going to click on the diamond, and it's going to add a diamond shape here, and I'm going to write number 1. This is the first bullet. I'm going to hit the Enter key and write number 2 and then number 3. And sometimes you want to do indentation on your bullet. So when you're working on the bullet list, you've got these options down here, you see. So we can demote, which means push it to the right, or we can promote it, which means push it to the left. So we're going to push it to the right, and every time we push to the right, the next bullet list will also be on the indentation. So we're going to write number 4 and then number 5. Let's just do number 6. And number 6, we can either push it out one more time, or we can bring it back to the original position here by using this last button, promote back in. So you can manipulate the the default bullet list in this way. And we're going to hit the Enter key. Let's copy this text one more time and paste it below here. Now sometimes when you copy text from above and you paste it below, for whatever reason it seems to add it to the third page. And to fix that, just go to this, let's say for example this number list, position 6. We're going to hit the Enter key twice, and when we hit the Enter key twice, it removes us out of the bullet list, and then we can just press the delete button on our keyboard, and that will move that text from the third page back up to the second page. Why it does that, I'm not quite sure. I think it's because the way we're selecting the text, or because we finished on a number, but sometimes that happens, and that's how to resolve that. I'm going to move my mouse cursor here and hit the Enter key, and this time we're going to use a number list, and we're going to pick let's say this number list here. So it's got a number 1 here, and we'll just write in test 1, and then we can do test 2, and then do test 3. So you notice if we try and do the indentation here, demote, when we do demote, it goes to number 1, which is a bit strange because really we would expect that to be either 3 or we expect it to be 2.1. So normally when we indent on a number bullet list, we want this one to be 2.1. So to fix this, we're going to click on this button here, the bullet and numbering. And inside bullet and numbering, we've got number 2, level 2. So we can see we're on level 2. And we're going to go to customize, and it says show sub-level, and we're going to set this to 2. So this will now be 1.1, and we're going to go to position, and we're going to say here space, and we're going to click OK, and then it's going to go to 2.1, you see. And if we hit the Enter key, we do test 4 and then test 5. If we indent one more time, it's going to go to 1, and we want this to be 2.21. So we're going to click this here, and we're going to go to customize, and we're going to set this to 3 positions, and we'll go back to positioning, and in tab we're going to say space and click OK. Then it will be 2.21. Hope that kind of makes sense. So if we hit the enter key and put in test 6 and we demote it, or sorry, promote it backwards, it's going to go to 2.3. And if we do one more to test 7 and promote it one more time, it's going to go to position 3. So we've got 1, 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.21, 2.3, and then 3. So that's how you can manage your number lists. It's a little bit complicated to explain, but hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, I'm going to hit the enter key twice, and when I hit it twice, it will remove me out of the number list options. And we're going to go to insert page break, and that's going to create a new page. And let's select this text here and copy it, Control C to copy, and we're going to paste it here. And we're going to highlight this first bit of text here. And sometimes you want to do something, you want to manipulate the text, you want to change it in some way. So we can make it bold by clicking B here, or clicking this this letter here. We'll make it bold. We'll select this next piece of text here, and you may want to make it italic, so you can click this one here. We'll select this bit of text here, and sometimes you may want to strike through, so we can click this one to underline. Sorry, this is underline. So we can underline the text, and then we'll select this one here, and we can make it a strike through the text. So 20-second, if we highlight the ND, we can use this button to make it superscript. So you know, normally on the 20-second the ND is pushed above, and if we do 20, see, it's still set to superscript. So as I'm typing, it's still set to superscript. So if I highlight this and just say clear formatting, it will make it to its default formatting again. So if you ever have that problem where you're typing something and the text is coming out as some text that you selected before, just highlight it and just clear format, and then it will go back to its default text. So let's type in the this one is superscript, so this will push the text below small, and this one push the text above small. So if we're typing this here, we've got it's still selecting this option here, so we can highlight this text and just make it clear format. We can get rid of this now. Let's just save our document. Let's highlight this text here, and we can this is also the clear format button as well. So this actually does the same thing as this option here, this button here, this one. So here we can change the font color. You can change it to whatever color you want. I would recommend you leave it as black font because it's easy to print, it's easy to read. But we can change it to blue, for example, and it will make it a blue font. Let's go back up here and select this text. Let's select all of this, copy it, Control C. Let's paste that below here. And we can select this text, and we can use the highlight tool, and it will highlight it if you want to highlight something specific in the document. So let's save this. If for any reason you wanted all of your text, all of this written text to be a specific color, like this blue color for example, I wouldn't recommend it, but what you can do is you can go to the text body or the default style, click on edit style, and we can go to font effects and font color, and we could have selected the color here and apply it, then everything will be blue, you see. But I wouldn't recommend that. or leave it as black text. So we can just press Control Z. That should have undone it, but it didn't because it's a text style. So we'll have to go back here, edit styles. Let's do that one more time. Default, edit styles. And let's set it back to automatic, which will be black. I prefer this color. Okay. So I'm going to hit the Enter key, and we're going to add a table. I'm going to show you a table. So I'm going to insert a, let's see, let's do three, one row and 3 columns. So sometimes when I'm working on web projects, I create documents like this for my customers or for my developers. And one key thing that I normally do in quite a lot of my documents is to, let's just show you. Let me just find this. So here's an example of a website project that I'm working on. This is just like a template design for a Spanish restaurant. So down here you can see that there's a field, there's a form here. And normally when I document this form for my developers, I normally tell them what the field is, what type it is, and just some notes about these fields. So I could use this table to document this form, so when they're building it, they understand what they've got to do, or the customer understands what fields are going to be created. So we can do that here in this document as a good example. So normally I'll put 3 titles across the top. So the first title is going to be field name. Each one of these forms elements will be called a field. And then in here I'm going to type in field type, and I might type in notes here. So I'm going to hit the tab key on my keyboard, or I could write, or we could let's see, rows. I think row below. If I click this one, it should put a row below. So we can click on this one and do rows below. I'm pretty sure this will delete a row, or delete. Let's delete this one. That will delete the row that you're on. You can insert and delete columns. So you can. I would suggest you just play around with these options here. You can insert columns, delete columns, insert rows, delete rows. You can insert a row above or below, depending on where you are. So there's only one row here, so we want to insert a row below. So we want to insert a few actually. So let's insert like we can delete them after if we don't need them. So we'll insert this many rows. Let's save this. So we've got full name, telephone, email. So let's do full name, telephone, email. Let's put date in here, time. Also, one other thing, if you want to move between the cells, you can use the tab key. So you don't have to use your mouse. You can use the tab key on your keyboard, and that will just increment for each cell. And when you get to the very last cell or the very last row, if you hit the tab key, it will create a new row as well. That's another way to do that. And we just put in here short message. I haven't added all the fields here, but I've added some of them. I'm going to click here and highlight this row. I'm going to make it bold because these are titles, so let's make them clear. Full name. What type of field is it? It's a text field. I'm going to highlight this, copy it, paste it down. These will all be text fields. This will be date selection. This will be a drop down menus, and this will be a text area. Sometimes I put a little note in here. So drop down menu, I might write because it's time, it will be hours and minutes, and for the date it will be day, month, year. So that's just an example of how I'll use the table to help document some information about a project that makes it clearer for my clients and for my staff. So let's save this and let's give it a quick print preview. You can see the table let's just zoom in. See, the table doesn't have all of the formatting correctly done, so let's fix that. Let's close this, and we're just going to highlight the whole table, and we'll go to borders, and we're going to select this option here, borders, all borders basically. And then if we save this and print preview, oops, that's printing, let's cancel that, print preview, we can see the table is now formatted correctly. Okay, cool. Let's save this. So another useful tool, sometimes I want to write a little note in this document to my developers. I can click on this note option here, insert comment, and I could write in this note, please make form processing using these fields. So that's just a little note for my developer, and arrows pointing up to the form, so it's quite clear what it is. That's a little problematic, so you can see here I can't get, let's try and click on this. I'll have to delete this comment. The problem is at the moment, if I insert this comment at this position and there's no carriage returns below it, every time I hit the enter key I can't get beyond this document. It's a little bit buggy, to be honest. So to fix this, I'm going to just copy this text, delete it, delete the comment, and I need to make sure there was at least a few line spaces after I insert the comment. So in theory it should be okay now. So if I insert the comment again, paste it, I can now continue writing underneath. So just watch out for that. Let's save this. Some of these options I don't really use, to be honest, so I can't really explain all of them, but let's say this, please click here to view some examples of my work. So you could write a little bit of text in here. You can highlight this text, and then you can go to this link option here, and we can put in a URL here, http:// and we can click apply and click OK. Now this will become a clickable link. If I hold down the control key on my keyboard and click on it, it should in theory try that again. Should open up my web browser. Here it is. We'll open up the web browser and go to that particular link that you've inserted into there. That becomes very useful when we create a PDF file later. So let's save this. So you notice on your keyboard you haven't got a copyright key, the copyright symbol. So you can click on this button here, and to be honest, this is the only time I ever use this button, is for the copyright. Click insert, and I can just put DCP web. So sometimes I need that copyright sign, and it's not on the keyboard, and you can get it from these special characters. There's loads of other ones in here if you need to use them. By all means, flick through them and you can find out what you want. Let's save this. And I don't know what this is. Insert bookmark, I don't know what that is. There's some like drawing functions here. There's one useful one that I use. I never really insert these shapes, but if you want to insert a shape, there's a circle. You click on it and then you can just drag and create a circle. Why you would do that, I'm not sure, but you can. But there's one option in here that I use sometimes. Sometimes when I've got a picture and I want to insert some text on top of it, I can click on this option here, show draw functions, and then I can click on this one here, insert text box. So I can insert a text box here. Let's do that again. Let's write in here, fly in the sky. So we can drag that over the picture. We can stretch it out a little bit. And we can should be able to set if we double click inside, we can highlight the text, and then we can change that to Arial, our default text style. We can make it bold, for example, and in this case we want to make it white text, and we can center it. You can actually read it. Let's save this. That's really the only option I use in this drawing tool, but please experiment with it, have some fun, play around with it, see what you can do. I think that is almost everything that I want to show you for now. I'm going to do a more advanced tutorial at some later date, but I think that's going to be about enough for now. But I just want to show you one last thing, which is quite important. So I'm just going to right align this document, and here I've got the master document, the one that we just created. I'm just going to save it one more time. I'm going to click on this button, export as PDF file. And I'm going to click save, and we're going to generate this PDF file. And you can see, if I expand this, the original document was 1.8 megabytes. The PDF file is 247 kilobytes. So it's a fraction of the size of the original document. And this PDF file is the one that I would normally send to my customer, because they can read the text, they can print it out, but they can't edit the text. So it saves them, just saves the headache. I can see there's one thing missing from this document, so we're going to fix that in a second. Let's just do that right now, actually. So let's go back. I'll show you what's missing. If you look at the document, there's no line above the footer. We're going to put a black line, like we've got a black line here. We want to put one above the footer here. So let's fix that quickly. So we're going to go down. We're going to highlight this table. Click in here. In fact, let's expand this. And let's click on this draw tool to close it down. And we're going to move our mouse cursor to the left side, click on this table, and we're going to select the border style, and we're going to select this one here, draw line above. And we need to scroll down to the second page and do the same on this one. And we're going to draw border, where is it, above. And when we do it on the second page, it's going to automatically do it on the third page for us. Now, if someone can work out how to duplicate the footer on the first page and have that footer duplicated on the second and the third page, if you know how to do that, please send me a message, because I couldn't work it out. I'll appreciate it. I'm going to click the export PDF one more time, save it. It's going to overwrite this document. We'll save this. Let's just minimize this, and this will be the document that I'll send to my client. You can see it looks pretty good. The font is all okay, everything's formatted. They can even select text, they can copy it. We can click on this link here, that will open up the web browser, and it will take me to the website. We can scroll down, and there's a second link here. We can click on that one, and that will also take me to the website. You can easily attach this in an email and send it. So let's do one last thing. Let's just say that we formatted the text like this and we didn't like it, and we just wanted to make it back to its original text, this section here and this section here. We can do that quite quickly. We can go to our document and we can find that here. We can highlight it, and there's two ways to do it, but we're going to click on this button here, clear default formatting, and we'll clear the formatting, and then we can just block justify it if you want to block justify it, or you can leave it left aligned. And you can do the same here. As default, I'm going to leave it as it was before, because I might do some more tutorials on this document and we can continue from where we left off. I'm going to save this, I'm going to close it, and one last note I'll make. So normally what I would do is I'm going to delete this PDF file, and normally somewhere on my computer or even in this same folder we can I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to say this is called ABC client. So this is the name of my client. I'm just going to copy this type name, and what I normally do is copy the master document into this folder, copy it here, then open it, and then I rename this master document ABC client. I could probably give it a better name, put the date in there or something a bit more descriptive, but the point is that I've kept my master document, I haven't edited it. I've created a new folder so I know who the client is. Inside that folder I've created a file and I know who the file is, who the file belongs to, and I could create multiple versions of this file. I could copy this one down, copy it here, and make a version 2. So I could edit version 1 and then make a version 2 of this document if I need to make some changes to it. The point being is that we retain our master document and we only edit these copied versions, if that makes sense. Okay, let's just do that again. My computer just played up with me there, played up a bit. So we've got this customer, ABC customer document here. I made the folder, we've got the document inside of here. We can open that up now in our software. This is the wrong folder, it's this one. We can open up this document. And we've got a couple of options. We can either just change this title to ABC client project, whatever you want to call it. You can delete all the content from here and then just start re-editing it just as the way that you created this first document. But all of the formatting and all of the styles would already be done for you. Everything's formatted already. So when it comes to adding a picture or adding some text or adding some subtitles, all you've got to do is select the options from here. It makes your life very easy for formatting purposes. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to close this document. Don't need to save it. I'll delete this folder. We've got our master document still here. This is an old version of the tutorial. And I think that's about it. I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial where we maybe go through some more advanced steps on this OpenOffice Writer.